Hey everyone, and welcome to the Parent Support Program hosted by East. Our goal with these sessions is to improve your technical skills and knowledge so that you can better support your children in their virtual learning. My name is Amy Bell. I am the Program Coordinator for Education Unleashed here at East. Today, I'm going to share with you some ways to use the Google search function to really help you and your students with their schoolwork. So I've created a digital handout that includes all the tips that I'll be talking about today, as well as all the information from all my other Google sessions. And the link to my handout is on this slide, eastlink.me/Google Handout. It is case sensitive, so make sure you capitalize both the G and the H if you're typing that into your Google Chrome browser. I'm also going to put a link to the handout in the chat so you can grab it from there as well. So let's get started. First thing I want to talk to you about is how to filter explicit content from your Google search results. Google makes it pretty easy with something called Safe Search Feature, and that's a mouthful for me. It's difficult to say. It's Safe Search Feature. So essentially, you're going to do a search in Google Chrome, and once you do that, you're going to notice at the top of your screen, you get some more options, and one of them is called Settings. So let's click on that. That top option is called Search Settings. So we're going to click on that one. And you're going to see at the top of your screen this option called Safe Search Filter. So it even tells you, by turning this on, it helps you to hide explicit content. So simply click on that button. You've done it. You don't have to go back and do it every time. And by turning this on, you're going to filter out explicit links, images, or videos that may be deemed inappropriate for like an all-age audience. Be aware, though, that Google says it's not 100%, but it is a really, really good start. So now that we have that box checked, let's see how we can help our students. So I'm going to show you several ways to use the Google search bar that you probably didn't know about. The first one I'm going to tell you about is how to define words using the Google search bar. So you simply ask Google to define either a word or a two-word phrase by typing in the word and define next to it. So I'm typing in sunflowers, define, and you'll notice, I don't know what just happened. Let's try that again. And what comes up but the word sunflower and the definition here at the bottom, and it tells you where they got that from. You also have the option to look at translations and more definitions of that word. And then a really cool thing they do is they will pronounce the word for you. Simply click on the little voice icon right there.
Sunflower.
And it pronounces the word sunflower for you. All right. You noticed something that popped up on my screen a while ago. I don't know why I did, but I'm going to show it to you really quickly. And it's Google Voice Search. So you're telling Google that you just want to search for something, but you don't want to type it in. You just want to tell them what it is. So up in your toolbar up here, you'll notice to the right a little microphone. If I hover over it, even says Search by Voice. And if I click on that, East Initiative. Didn't get that, did it? Let's try it again. East Initiative. There you go.
East Initiative. Here you are.
It even tells me out loud that it searched for East Initiative, and here are the results for that search. You can do math in the Google search bar, which is really helpful for me because I struggle with that subject matter. So let's see, you can use the math function to figure out a tip. You can create even a complex geographical rendering just by doing math in the Google search bar. We're going to start out with some basic calculations. How about that? So if I were to put in the search bar 34 plus 7 and hit enter, you see what happens is Google is giving me the answer. It's reminding me of the problem that I was asking them to solve, and it gives me an interactive calculator that I can continue to do math problems on. You can also search like this. Let's say you don't know that, how to put that X in the middle for times. You can spell it out, 3 times 7. You can see it gives me the answer and that interactive calculator again. Let's try something just a little bit more complicated. How about this? 20% of $67.42. And there's your answer. Love that. I love it. It makes it so easy to get the answers to those math problems. So it's important to know this doesn't work for all math problems. It will solve a good number of them. And this also may be one of those things about Google that you don't share with your students. Just maybe you use it to check behind them on their homework to make sure they got the right answers. You can also use Google similarly to convert numbers. So think about conversion calculators, what you would need those for. What would your kids need those for? Well, here are some examples. How about this one? 38 Celsius in Fahrenheit. And it gives you your answer. It tells you down here it's measuring Celsius first. It's converting that to Fahrenheit. But then I've got the option to change those. So maybe I want to go Fahrenheit to Celsius. Maybe I want to go Fahrenheit to Kelvin. So I can do all that right here just by simply searching 38 Celsius in Fahrenheit. It also gives me some options right here in the top with some up or down arrows. So then I can change what it is that I'm looking for. How about converting ounces to pounds? Let's do that one. So if I just want to search 10 ounces in pounds, excuse me, you've got that same option, right? It gives you the ounces, it converts it to pounds, and I can easily change that 10 to 50. So I can keep working in that ounce to pounds conversion. How about this one? It's pretty interesting. Milliliters to light years. You can even do that in Google. How crazy is that? And I can change that. So let's say I actually have 50 milliliters. It'll convert it to light years for me. You can also use this to convert currency rates, right? So even if you don't know the symbol for the currency, so let's say you knew it was United States, but you didn't know that dollar symbol. You don't have to know that. You don't even have to know the ISO designator like USD for US dollars. Don't have to know that. You can just put in what you know. So let's try with that. $38 in Iceland. That's what I know. I need to know how far that's going to go in Iceland. And it gives me the answer. That's how many as Icelandic, I can't say that word either, Icelandic krona will get me for $38. So let's say now I want to up that to $100. It changes that conversion rate for me, changes that answer for me. It also gives me some options right here to change the currency that I am converting. So let's say I want to change that to the Swiss franc. How does that convert to the Icelandic krona? Or maybe then I want to change that to the euro. It's so easy right there in the Google search option. All right, so we've converted the money. How about converting the time for that place? It is so super easy. In your search bar, you just put in the location. So let's put in Iceland, and then you put time. And if you do a search for Iceland time, it's going to bring up the current time in that location. It even tells you the date and the day and the date and the current time. You can even do that with a zip code. So if I put in the zip code for Little Rock in time, and it brings up the current time for Little Rock. You can also search for the weather of that location. So let's look for, first, let me show you. If you just type in weather in the search bar, just weather, it's going to default to the location of your IP address. So it defaulted to Maumelle, Arkansas, because that's where I'm at today. And it brings up this card of the weather. It gives me the forecast down here at the bottom. The hourly forecast is pretty cool. It gives me the current temperature. I can click on this interactive card to see the precipitation and the wind. All of this is provided by weather.com. All right, so the next thing I want to show you how to do is searching for images using the Google search bar. So let's look for Iceland images. Let's say I do a search for Iceland. I can easily then refine that search to only images. If you go just below your search bar at the top of your screen, you'll see some more options. One is all. That means all the search results for Iceland. One is news, maps, and that's what we're looking for, images. So if I click on that option, it brings up all of these images of Iceland. I can further refine that image search by using the advanced image search settings. So let's look at those. If I go over to the right side of my screen here, I've got a couple of option settings or tools. I'm going to click on that tools button, and it brings up a whole nother menu of options to further refine that image search. So one is the size. If I click on that, it gives me some options: large, medium, icon size. This is great if your students are working in like a slide deck where you need a specific size. If they're working in Adobe Photoshop or any graphic design software, then you probably want to refine those search results to a specific size of an image. I'm going to leave it any size. Let's say you're looking for a specific color of an image. Transparent is a great option if you are looking to insert an image into a slide deck, because then you don't have all that background on there. You just have the image, which is really cool. But you can also narrow down your results just based on one of these colors. So let's say we pick the blue option for Iceland. You see the search results now all have blue in the image. I can choose what type of image I want to refine that by. So let's say I just wanted clip art. It will further refine my search like that. One very important thing to think about when you're using images is, did the creator of that image allow you to use that? You know they did if you click on this Creative Commons license. So if you are using these images in some sort of graphic design or slide deck, you want to make sure that you click on that image, click on that option as well. So finally, I want to talk to you about this time option here. You can further refine your image search based on when these images were uploaded to the web. So let's say you've looked at Iceland images before and you're really looking to see, are there any new ones, any new blue clip art images of Iceland out there? So I would click on this past 24 hours to see what was uploaded. And once again, it's further refining that search. So these are the images in the past 24 hours that are blue, that are clip art, that are for Iceland and our Creative Commons licenses. So you can really, really work on refining that search for your images. It's easy just to clear that all out and go back to your original search. This little button right here that says clear, if we click on that, it's going to take us back to our original full-on results of Iceland images. Excuse me, Google will also allow you to do what's called a reverse image search. So let's say you already have the image, you have a graphic or a picture, and you're not sure what it is, you want to find out more information about it, you can use that image to search. If you go up to your toolbar here, you see this little camera. If you click on that, it says search by image, and you've got a couple of options on how to do that. You can either paste in a URL. So let's say you've seen it on a website or you have a URL for that, you can put it in there and search that way. I'm going to upload an image from my computer and see if it can figure out what it is. I just need to choose that file. So this image is called building. I know it's building. Just need to find out what it is. And that's what happens. So that is the image that I had on my desktop. And it not only tells me what it is, it gives me some search options, some search results, and it gives me visually similar images. So that might be something I'm interested in. But then I get all these search results about that image, which is the Taj Mahal. This also works with faces. So let's say you have a picture of someone and you don't know who they are. You can upload that image into Google and it will find who that person is and give you visually similar photos of that, which is really cool. Try doing that on yourself or your kiddos and see where their pictures are out there on the web. All right. You know, we talked about that time constraint or that time restriction for the image search that we did earlier. You can use that time constraint or refinement for any search on Google as well. So let's say I did that search for Taj Mahal. I can go to my toolbox right here again, and I can change my options on like the time, the date that those things were uploaded to the web. So let's say once again that I'm doing a research project for school. I've gone through all the information up to this point and I just want to see like what's most recent, or maybe it's a subject matter where I need to look at a certain date range for articles or information. I can do that through this custom range. I can choose these pre-populated options as well, but let's say I want to do custom range. So I'm looking for information or articles about the Taj Mahal during, let's say, March of 2020 to May of 2020. It's going to further refine those results. It's a really cool little tool if you're looking for specific items, specific body of work out there on the internet. It also helps you to filter through like all those results that include out-of-date information. I use it for that a lot. So if your kids are researching, doing research papers or a project, and let's say, once again, they've pretty much gotten all the information that is out there, or they have this new interest in a subject matter and they want to make sure that they know when new information comes out about that subject matter. They can do that with something called a Google alert. It's so easy to get to. You just go to alerts.google.com. Put that in your toolbar. And this is what happens when you put in alerts.google.com. You have the opportunity to do a search and create an alert that Google will alert you when something new comes out on this subject matter. So let's say I put in the words Jane Austen. I want to create an alert. I want to know when some new articles, new information comes out with Jane Austen in it, right? It's going to give me a preview of what's out there right now that I could check out, most recent items. It also gives me some options right here. So let's hit that down arrow. It'll let me choose how often I want to receive these alerts as it happens. At most once a day, at most once a week. Let's do that one. What type sources I want that to come from. The language, that's important. The region, how many results I want to get, and where I want those delivered to. So that's the email address for this Chrome browser account. So yeah, I want them to go there. And then I simply click Create alert. So there is my alert. It's listed. So whenever I go back to alerts.google.com from this Chrome browser, and I'm signed in, remember, it's going to show me that I have an alert going on right now. Now, what's going to happen is it's going to email me when new things come out on the web about Jane Austen. Yeah, it is. And so based on how often I said I wanted to receive those, that's when I'll get those. Now, let's say I'm done with the Jane Austen project. I don't need that alert anymore. All I've got to do is go back to alerts.google.com, see that Jane Austen alert, and click on the delete button, and it's gone. That alert is gone. This is also a great little tool to use. I put myself in there. I put my organization in there. I put my address in there. So if things come up about me or my organization or my address, I want to know about that if those things are coming up on the web. All right, so finally, it's not really the last thing, but sort of the last thing I want to talk to you about is Google search operators. So as we have seen, Google's search algorithm is pretty adept, right, at returning information that we're looking for. This can be really, really helpful when we're not exactly sure what we're looking for, just like we've seen a lot too, right? Google uses something called search operators to make sure we get those best results when we're searching. Search operators change where Google searches. So instead of searching like the entire web, if you're using a search operator, you're going to see results from specific websites, specific web headings, and even specific file types. There are a ton of these search operators, and I've provided a link to a really good document listing those. It's in the handout, so make sure you check that out. But I'm just going to go over a few of my favorite search operators. All right, so the first one I want to tell you about is how to use a colon to search a specific website. So if you want your search results to be from one specific website, you simply put in site colon followed by the URL for that website. So I'm going to give you an example here so you see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to put in Sidney Crosby, and I'm going to put a space, and then site colon NHL.com. So I only want results about Sidney Crosby from that specific website, NHL.com. So let's click on that. So you're going to see my results come up for my search. This one is NHL.com, 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 NHL.com. They're all from that specific website that I wanted to search. Pretty cool, huh? It really narrows down your search parameters. Okay, here's another one I like, and it's called in title. So this is searching in titles only. So it's going to search for words in a web page title. So here's an example of that one. If I searched for Muppets space in title colon frog, I should only get results about Muppets that have frog in the title. So let's click on that and see what happens. Kermit the Frog, look here. These are all titles that have Muppet and frog in the title. All right, you can also search text only. So if you use in text colon or all in text colon, essentially allows you to only search in the text of a site as opposed to the title that we just did. So here's an example of that. If you put all in text colon Muppet Show, then it's going to bring up results that show me that information in the text of the website. Okay, you can also search for related websites or similar websites by using related colon to show results. So if I were to search for Muppet dot, whoops, I put the wrong thing in. If I were to search related colon and then put a space and then the website that I know about, let's say I want to see websites that are similar to muppet.fandom.com, then it's going to bring up all websites that are similar to that website. It's really great when you're doing research. Okay, using quotation marks, you can search for something specific. So when you put your search parameters in quotes, it searches for that whole phrase. So all the words within the quotations, it's going to search for. So I'll give you an example of that. If I were to search for puppy dog sweaters, I'm going to get all these results. But if I search for puppy dog sweaters in quotations, it's only going to search for things that include all three of those words exactly as I've typed it in. So I'm going to get a different search result. This can really help you locate specific information that may be buried under content if you haven't sorted it out correctly. So try the quotation marks if you need that exact phrase search for. All right. You can use Google search to search for a page that links to another specific page. So if you like for instance, for me, if I want to see if anyone else has cited the East Initiative page on their website, then all I have to do is search for link colon and that website. So our website is eastinitiative.org. So if I do link colon eastinitiative.org, I can see all the websites that link to that specific website. All right. You can also use something called the asterisk card in Google. It leaves like a placeholder that Google automatically fills. So here's some examples of how you use the placeholder and why. Let's say you don't know the words that are missing to something. Let's say you don't know the words that are missing to a song. Here's one. Come asterisk right now, asterisk me. What is that? What are those missing words? If I do that, it shows me that those are the lyrics for the Beatles song Come Together. I can also do, let's say I don't know the exact title of a book or a paper. So if I put an asterisk as a placeholder for the missing words, and I do a search for the asterisk and the sea, then I see that what comes up is the results for the old man in the sea. So it's great if you're not really sure about those words in particular searches. All righty. I hope that